Good evening. A 22-year-old man from the Battleford's rural area is in hospital after being involved in a single vehicle crash. Now, it happened around 2 p.m. this afternoon on Highway 40, about 10 kilometers west of Battleford. The driver, who was the only person in the vehicle, suffered serious injuries. Now, RCMP say alcohol was not a factor in the crash. Travel is restricted to one lane in the area and is expected to stay this way into the evening. Well, good news for seniors on a fixed income. A new Alberta program will allow those eligible to defer property income taxes. But this isn't the case for Saskatchewan residents, as the province does not have a program like this. Now, the border city hopes to change that. As Bart Padiasic reports, City Council agreed to form an internal plan to even the playing field.
In essence, allow seniors to live in their house without the impact of the tax increases and tax burden.
The Alberta program is meant to help seniors currently living in their homes stay there. Property taxes will be delayed and instead will be paid off when the home is sold. To be eligible, you have to be at least 65 years old, a Canadian citizen, and a resident of Alberta. That leaves Saskatchewan without such a service and puts the border city in a difficult situation. Council voted unanimously this morning to create an internal plan to help the Saskatchewan side seniors.
We'll look to administer it just in-house for this year, and then moving forward we'll look at a program, if Saskatchewan government doesn't come up with one of their own, that we can take care of in the city for our Saskatchewan residents. Councillor
Chris McQuid says it may be complicated, but ultimately an easy decision.
It gives the Saskatchewan seniors the same benefit as the Alberta seniors now, which is always nice. You hear so many times that being in the border city there's so many challenges, and one side of the border maybe gets things that another side doesn't. This is one case where I think we can be proactive.
Council is still planning their program, and it may not be available until next tax season. For more information on the program, visit their website. Bart Padiasic, Newcap News.
St. Paul residents will notice an increase in their taxes after Council passed its latest budget Monday night. Council held the line on municipal tax, but residents will still see a tax hike because of the government's mandatory school requisition increase.
Their assessed values did increase, which is based on market value of their residence or commercial properties. There will be some increases for both residents and commercials.
An assessment was done on a sample of both residential and commercial property, with commercial seeing the greatest increase, an average of 5.8%.
The assessment value had gone up on all 12 commercials. So what that means is, even though our municipal tax remains the same, because the market values and the assessed values went up, they will have an increase in their taxes.
The average increase for residential taxes was just less than 4%. School officials are urging drivers to slow down after a close call last week in Lloydminster. Now, with the spring weather in full swing, they want drivers to know the rules and abide by them in the school zones. Kim Smith explains.
It was too close for comfort for the principal of Jack Kemp Community School after one student was almost hit by a vehicle in the school zone recently.
Of course, as a school, we take great pride and care in making sure that we have a safe school inside and out, and it really brought to our attention again that we need to help educate the public about the procedures.
Jack Kemp has about 15 student crossing guards. They've been trained to point, pause, and proceed as part of the AMA School Safety Patrol program.
That they're making eye contact, and they do it in pairs. And as they communicate that across the street so that they are both knowing what their job is to do.
The crossing guards make eye contact with the drivers prior to putting out their stop signs.
We always have a concern at any time of year, but certainly we've noticed with the spring weather and traffic moving a little bit more quickly that we really want to make sure that drivers clearly understand the point, pause, and proceed procedure.
The speed limit in school zones is 30 kilometers per hour. In addition to abiding by the law, school officials hope you'll take that second look for children walking and biking.
I know, it's busy, especially first thing in the morning and after school in any school zone. So always to be aware as a driver when you're traveling through those zones.
Kim Smith, Newcap News.
Meanwhile, Lloydminster RCMP will be out in full force this week. Now, police are taking part in the Canada Road Safety Week and say if you break the rules of the road, you will be caught. Now, just this afternoon, police pulled over this driver who was going allegedly 74 kilometers per hour in a 30 zone. Now, with the long weekend approaching, you can expect a larger police presence on the roads as officers crack down on speeders and distracted drivers.
This is more or less of a reminder that we are out here, people to obey the rules of the road and to get to their destination safely.
Corporal David Cadoon says police will be on the highways as well as residential areas like playgrounds and school zones.
A lot of the big focus is on speed, cell phones, stop signs, anything intersection related, as well as impaired driving.
Canada Road Safety Week coincides with May long weekend as that's when traffic typically becomes busier.